Hi, and welcome back. I'm Cheyenne Keating, and you're joining us with Inside Chang Industrial, where we take a look at the minds behind the mission. Today, I have the pleasure of being joined with Bob Hoffman. Bob, how are you doing today?
Doing very well, Cheyenne, thank you.
Awesome, great to have you here.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you do at Chang Industrial?
Well, I'm a consultant, and I have a niche, which is I'm a professional engineer, electrical engineer, and my niche is building systems, building design. And so when Chang needs a niche service such as mine, I provide it.
Awesome. And can you tell us a little bit about your background, how you got here?
Well, it's kind of long, if you can imagine.
I'll buckle up.
Well, college in Boston, went to work in New Hampshire for utility, came to Connecticut to work for a helicopter manufacturing in the facilities field, facilities being exactly what I do today, design engineering. From there, I met another fellow, and the two of us went in private practice for 20 years, almost 20 years. And then from there, I was called to move to Florida and worked for a local company here for about 16 years, which is where I met Matt Chang. And now I'm back in the private practice.
Awesome. And what do you do when you're not working?
Oh, my goodness. I have a family. My wife and I do a lot of fun things outside of the family. We just got a new puppy, Multi-Poo, if you know anything about dogs. She's the cutest little thing, but she's a handful.
I bet.
I also I love to mentor. I love to, last 2 years I spent writing and documenting the things I thought I knew. And writing and documenting them made me realize I didn't know them as well as I thought I would. So I also like to write and start business plans and business ideas.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, hopping back to the career topic, what has been like an impactful turning point for you in your career?
There's been a few. When I left the helicopter manufacturer as a facilities engineer and went private practice doing the same thing, I realized that I had to learn my trade, had to really learn it and understand it. And that was huge, being put into position of knowing what I had to do, trying to get more work, getting work, doing it, and doing it right so I can get the next project, really taught me a lot.
Yeah.
I think that was huge and impactful, a great learning experience. I would suggest it for everybody. So I would say that was it.
Okay. And would that equate, my next question is, what has been one of the greatest challenges of your career?
Okay. As an engineer going through college, it's all about numbers, calculus, differential equations, and that's what you think of when you graduate. Then you graduate and you start working in the field, you find out it's not about numbers, it's about communication. Communication was the biggest challenge for me to learn how to shift from the numbers mindset to the communication mindset. I remember back, it was in the late 80s, taking a roll of drawings. This is when we did things physically, not electronically. Taking a roll of drawings to a client's office, rolling them out. He would sit on one side, I'd sit on the other. I'd describe the drawings. I'd be upside down, and I could point out all our spelling mistakes, all the missed commas. It's communicating. This job is about figuring things out, but communicating is how we do it. And that was a huge aha moment for me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, if you could tell yourself one thing, your younger self, one thing, what would it be?
My younger self, one thing, if I give you three, would that be out of bounds? One thing, again, growing up in engineering, everything's about numbers. And I've learned communication is a big thing, but they don't tell you to read in college. At least they didn't tell me to read in my college. I'm a huge proponent now of reading, to the point where I don't think I read a dozen books between when I was a kid through college, and now I read a dozen books a month.
Wow.
So I think reading is huge because the world is changing so fast. And forgive me if I butcher the name, but Rene Descartes, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. He had a quote, and I just read it yesterday. I'll summarize. It says, if you read a book, you're really getting into the other person's mind, a 60-year-old's mind, and you're getting there in about 2 hours.
Wow.
So reading is what I wish I had known years ago. The other thing is mentoring. Get a mentor. I love doing it now because I never had one then.
Yeah.
You said one thing, I'll give you
That's
two.
okay. That's okay. Two? Do you want to list a third?
Yeah, it's the biggest. If you get into private practice, you must take time off for yourself and have a work-life balance.
Yeah.
I believe in that. I didn't quite do that back then.
Well, thank you so much, Bob, for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Thanks for having me.
Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you really soon. Stay up to date with all things Chang Industrial by visiting us on changindustrial.com or our LinkedIn. See ya.